My name is Tiffany, or you might know me as Tiffany Crow or the Fat Yogi. I am so excited to teach today's class. It is a very, very gentle, restorative class, so you will need some props. The class will be focused on loving yourself, which is amazing, and it's like what I really would love to just like have everybody do is just find a little bit of love in their heart for themselves, regardless of any type of outward appearance. So for today's practice, we want to begin with some blankets. So if you have like some woven blankets, I have these types of blankets. If you have something else, that's perfect too, like a quilt or something like that. You just don't want like super cushiony, like comforter type of blankets. You want something that's woven or like a little bit firmer. Usually just like a lap blanket should be fine. You could also use something like pillows or a bolster. So a bolster essentially is just a bigger pillow, and they're very firm. They're about that thick. This is such a great investment if you are planning on starting a yoga practice. They range between like $40 to $80. And when it comes to sitting on the ground, it is a lifesaver. So it helps bring the hips just a little bit higher than the knees. So when we are sitting down, you can sit for a little bit longer. If you feel like your knees just wouldn't feel good on the ground, I highly recommend you do this practice in a chair. So everything that we'll be doing today will be from the ground. We will be seated, and you can also practice these same postures from a chair. So if you feel more comfortable in a chair, then go for it. Grab your chair or grab your bolster, your folded blankets, pillows, whatever you have. Go ahead and set them up in a way that feels really good. For me, I like to sit at the back of my mat, but maybe you sit at the front of your mat. And then one other thing is if you want to bring more intention to today's practice, you can always light a candle. You can always use a stone. And if you're using if you're practicing a self-love practice, highly recommend something like a rose quartz. And you can take this stone or your candle, of course, in a very fire-safe way, and you can just set it at the top of your mat. And it's just a wonderful way to bring intention to the practice. Maybe during the practice, you catch a glimpse of the stone, and then you're like, oh, this practice is all about self-love. I want to bring more love into my heart, and this stone can help remind me. And there's also energy that goes around the stones. So I'm sure if you have stones like this in your home, then you're already aware of all the amazingness that comes along with them. But that's the reason why people are into stones and love to practice with intention. So by lighting a candle, you kind of are setting the tone for yourself. You're putting yourself in the mindset of, I'm going to practice yoga right now. And then you can set a little trinket or a stone at the top of your mat, and then let's find a seat. So grab your chair, grab your bolsters, find your seat. You can cross your legs, you can bring your hands to your knees, or you can just leave your feet on the ground. If you're in a chair and your feet, the heels are lifted, just scoot your booty just a little bit more forward in the chair and allow the feet and the heels to come all the way to the ground. If you do have shorter legs and that's just not going to happen, then let's bring the ground to your feet. So either use some blocks, a stool, something else that's in front of you so that your knees are in line with your hips. That's the goal here. So same with like something under your hips for the seated posture. Let's begin. Bring your hands to your knees and roll your shoulders down and back. Take a couple of clearing breaths here, friends. So deeply inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more times. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Last one. Begin to check in with the body. So maybe bring your hands to the belly and wiggle the toes. Flex the muscles in the legs. Flex that pelvic floor, that mula bandha, and then release. Let everything go. Let yourself settle, sink into the mat. Feel yourself get a little heavy on the bottom. And then let's focus on the belly. Squeezing the belly, giving your belly a hug, Saying thank you, belly, for existing on my body. I appreciate you exactly as you are. You hold in all my organs, digest my food for me. You are pretty amazing. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. When was the last time you sent love to the belly? We're usually trying to hide the belly, make the belly change, make the belly smaller. Instead, let's show love to the belly. It works so hard for us, it does so much for us, and it does it without even being asked to. These are things that we need in our life to keep living. So sending appreciation to your belly is so important. Let's keep our hands here on the belly. And as we breathe, we can feel our belly expand and get big, push against our hands. And as we exhale, the belly gets smaller and it might like push in that opposite direction. So the hands can like kind of push into the belly a little more. So just notice the belly, the breathing. You can keep your hands here if it feels good, or you can move them back to your knees if for some reason this feels better. But I encourage you to like keep them on the belly if you can. Let's focus on the spine. So that string, a little string, is at the base of the spine. It goes all the way to the top of the head. And here at the top of the head, we pull it taut and we lift our chest, our shoulders roll down and back. And then all of a sudden we're feeling very lengthened in the spine. Maybe we tuck our chin ever so slightly. And let's roll our shoulders down again and just wiggle our fingers, flex the muscles in our arms, relax, and just notice. Notice whatever's going on. Is there any tension anywhere that we've forgotten? Maybe your jaw, your forehead. Let's begin to seal the lips and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, finding that Ujjayi breath. As we sip in the air, we count to 4, 5, or 6. And as we exhale, we find that same count, 4, 5, or 6. If we inhale for 4, we exhale for 4. If we inhale for 5, we exhale for 5. Let's take this time to explore. Maybe we start with 4, and then move to 5, and then move to 6. 6 is too much. Go back to 5. And let yourself feel, feel your chest expanding, lifting up as you sip in the air. How does it feel to count to 5? Is that enough breath? And then count to 5 as you exhale. How does it feel to count to 6? Sipping in that air. And then exhaling to 6. Do you need more breath? Go to 7. Just because I say a number doesn't mean that's the stopping point. That's the point that you need to feel comfortable. I want to encourage you that throughout this practice, if there is anything that is making you feel uncomfortable or not right, it is your practice. You get to choose exactly how you are practicing. I am just offering certain things, and it is up to you to decide what is best for me. Let's take this breath, feel into it. Let this feel like you'd fog a mirror if you held it up to your nose on the exhale. And it kind of sounds like an ocean wave, rolling back and forth. Just really tapping into that Ujjayi. This is your breath of life. This is the breath where yoga started. So many people tell me, yoga is for flexible people. I'm not flexible. Yoga is for thinner people. I'm not thin. Yoga is for this type of person. I'm not that type of person. But actually, yoga began with breathing. There was one pose, and it was this pose, an easy sit pose. And yogis would sit on mountaintops and breathe. And yoga is the union. To yoke means to connect. It's connecting the breath to the body, the mind to the body, the spirit. It's connecting whatever we need to connect with. Take this time, close your eyes. Where do we need to connect? This practice is all about self-love, so maybe we connect with the word love. As we inhale, we think I am, and as we exhale, we think love. When was the last time you felt love from yourself? When was the last time you felt truly content with how you looked, who you were or are as a person? Let's tap into that. When was the last time you did something just for you? And you did it in a loving way. We're really good at focusing on negative, focusing on the things that maybe aren't the best for us. And this might mean negative thoughts. This might mean hanging out with people who agree with those negative thoughts. But what if we took the time to have positive thoughts too? So maybe you might be thinking, I don't know if I love myself. That's okay. This isn't a fake it till you make it. This is we work hard until we feel it. Yoga is about the breath. Yoga is about the union of the body. When we feel into our bodies, we can appreciate them and learn to love them. Let's take this time to breathe. I am. Exhale, love. Inhale, I am. Exhale, love. Take a few more breaths here, focusing on this affirmation, this intention of I am love. Sending it into the universe, hopefully coming back to us 3 times over. Inhale, I am. Exhale, love. Inhale, I am. Exhale, love. On that next exhale, let's notice if our shoulders rounded. If we need to just sit up a little taller in our seat, and let's bring that right ear down to that right shoulder and decide with our left hand. We can keep that left hand in our lap, or we can reach it off to the side. So it's like our full hand is reaching towards the ground. This just makes that shoulder lower just a little bit more. Sometimes it feels good and sometimes it doesn't. You can try it like Goldilocks. Which one is better for me? Hand in the lap, reach off to the side. As we breathe, we might inhale and then shorten that muscle, that space between the ear and the shoulder. And as we exhale, that muscle might lengthen. And we breathe right into that muscle. So think about that. Inhale, we shorten it. Exhale, we lengthen it. This will be true throughout the practice, taking time to move the way our body needs to. Our neck supports our head. It's kind of valuable merchandise. And we never take enough time to stretch it out. So this is your time. On that next exhale, go ahead and release your hand. Bring it back to the lap if you went there. Inhale, we bring our head back to center. Our eyes are still closed, and let's check in on the spine. Make sure it's lengthened. On that next exhale, left ear comes down to left shoulder, and we find our right hand staying in our lap or reaching off to the side. As we inhale, that muscle shortens again. Exhale, it lengthens. We send the breath right to the muscle, allowing it to lengthen as it needs to with the breath. There's no rush here. We're focusing on what we can do with our bodies today. We're not comparing to anything else or anybody else. We are within ourselves and our own practice. On that next exhale, we bring our right hand back to our lap if we went there. Inhale, our head comes back to center. And let's keep our eyes closed here, friends. If we need to lean back and uncross, wiggle our feet. If our feet are feeling a little bit tingly, that's totally fine. We can extend our legs out in front. Let's keep our eyes closed still. Engage your core, lift up the chest, and breathe. On that next exhale, if your legs are extended, let's adjust the belly as we lean forward. It fits between our thighs, and find a very gentle forward fold. Shoulders roll forward, chin to chest. Let's touch the ground with our fingertips, just our fingertips, eyes closed. And then exhale, let's touch the ground with our palms. Do you notice the difference? Inhale, fingertips. Exhale, palms. Inhale, we may rise a little bit, come to the fingertips. Exhale, lower down, come to the palms. Inhale, we rise up just a little bit. Exhale, we lower down to the palms. On that next exhale, we push ourselves all the way back up. Our eyes are still closed here, friends. Hands are in the lap, and our shoulders are rolled down and back. Take a deep breath. Let's open our eyes and look to the horizon, just straight ahead. Everything is in alignment. Take our right hand and reach it off to the side. Our left hand comes up and over, finding a side stretch. If you're in a chair, your right hand could just be reaching towards the ground. And we're thinking about opening up the chest so that left hip is sinking as our left arm is reaching. Inhale, we lift right back to center. Both arms reach up. This time we find a little back bend, leaning back. Maybe we look up. Exhale, we come back to center. Find that horizon. And then lower down that left arm and then reach with the right, sinking that right hip down all the way. Inhale, we push ourselves right back up. Finding our little back bend, reaching all the way back. And then this time, exhale, we reach our hands all the way forward. Find that forward fold again. Hands come down, fingertips touch, then the palms. Adjust the belly where it meets the thigh. And what do I mean by that? I just mean literally push into the belly where it meets the thigh. My belly will get hung up here, and sometimes I just need to move it out of the way. That's the wonderful thing about being fat, is that your fat is movable to a point. So fingertips, palms, fingertips, inhale, exhale, we lean forward to palms. Inhale, fingertips, exhale, palms. Just notice your breathing. And then we're just slowly opening up these hips, friends. It's just kind of like this wonderful flowing movement. It feels good. On that next inhale, we rise all the way back up. Let's sit tall. Our right hand comes to that right hip. Our left hand comes to the left leg. We take a deep inhale, we lift the chest. Exhale, we twist, look over that right shoulder. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we twist. We aren't pushing or forcing. This is all an internal rotation. On that next exhale, we release. Both hands come to the leg. And then on that inhale, left arm comes to the hip. We take a deep inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, we twist, opening up to that left side. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we twist. I am love. I am love. On that next exhale, come right back to center. And let's extend our legs out in front. Adjust wherever you need to here. Flex our feet this time. And then adjust the belly. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we just gently fold. Hands just make their way to the shins, the ankles, or a light touch to the toes. Here, our chest is lifted, our shoulders are down and back. And we're feeling the hinge in the hips, so like stick the booty back. It's an internal push that only you can feel, and it's hard to really demonstrate. So it's just like pushing the booty back. Squeeze that pelvic floor, release, and think about flowering open your booty. On that next inhale, we rise back up. Let's extend our right leg out. And if you're in a chair, the option here is to just take your left foot to the heel. So like to the outer knife edge of the foot. So you're seated like this, where this left leg is like kind of turned a little. If you're on the ground, you can bring your foot in even more. Take a little turn to the right, and then exhale, come back to center, and then inhale, we just hinge. And even though your knee is bent in the chair, you should still feel this on that outer hip. On that next inhale, we rise up, and we find it on the other side. So maybe if you're in the chair, you just switch sides. And if you're seated, you just find whatever pose felt good on that side. Take a turn to the left, and then back to center. Maybe adjust that belly. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, just gently fold forward. On that next inhale, we rise all the way back up. And this time, we can have both feet coming in. So if you're in a chair, maybe you just turn so that your knees are out, and it might look something like this. So it's like knife edge of the feet, and the knees are just coming out. We're just trying to open the hips. You could also place your feet flat and then just open your feet if you're in the chair. That makes your room for the belly. Otherwise, feet are in. We're finding our butterfly stretch. Hands to ankles, elbows to knees. Take a deep inhale, we lift, and exhale, we fold. And again, we're hinging at the hips, so that chest is lifted, shoulders are down and back. You should feel this on those outer hips, the inner groin. On that next inhale, we rise all the way back up. And then let's extend those legs again out in front of you, a little bit wider this time. And if you want to go into like a full wide-legged forward fold, maybe it's all the way out. Otherwise, you do whatever feels good. Another option would be to take a blanket, fold it, place it under your knees for some support. So you can kind of see the difference between a leg, it might be overextending, versus a leg that's supported. So you can choose what would work best for you. Get yourself set up. If you don't have the blankets, you could always use a towel or even like a shirt, anything that can provide support. So take your wide-legged seated pose. You can wiggle, get those legs locked in, flex the feet, and then slowly begin to lean forward, hands come down. My chest is lifted, shoulders are in line, and then I just hinge. So I'm leaning forward, I'm not reaching out in front of me. My hands are here as props, fingertips. And we can do that same action. Inhale, fingertips, exhale, palm. Inhale, fingertips, exhale, palm. We just find this flow with this wide-legged forward fold. On that next inhale, we rise all the way back up. And then bring our feet together, wiggle the legs, let that blood come back. Let's find our back body. So, moving our props out of the way, I would say if you're in a chair, you can take a pillow and place it behind you and use that for support. So, like a bed pillow or something like that. And that way you can lean forward and back, so you have like a bit of an incline. We'll be finding our Shavasana. So this is a pose of comfort, support. If you have blocks, I would say set them up in an L shape like this, and then take your bolster or pillows and set them on top of your blocks. And you notice how it's an incline? So if you don't have blocks, no worries. We just need a couple extra props. So we have our blanket, we have our pillows. Just stack them up to make the same shape. It's not a big deal. You got a taller side and a shorter side. You take your long pillow and you set it down and you have the same incline. So it's just a matter of whatever you have, you use it. And you don't need fancy props for any of this. This can just be like a bed pillow, you know, something that's comfortable. So slowly find your booty all the way down to your bolster. Begin to lean back and feel your weight onto your props. Bend your knees, feet flat on the earth. And let's roll your shoulders down and back. Arms are open wide. And let's close our eyes and maybe just rock our knees back and forth. We're opening up our chest and our heart chakra here. I am love. I am love. I feel love for my body. I moved in a way that felt good for today. I feel good about how I am breathing, how my body is being supported by the earth and props. I am listening to what I am doing and really focusing exactly where I need to be right now. Let's take the time and not think of things in a way like I am less than. If I had this, this would be better. But think of things in a way that's abundant. I have more than enough love. I have more than enough props. I have more than enough stability and comfort and joy and life in my heart. Let's close our eyes and take a couple of deep breaths here. Deeply inhale, open mouth, exhale. Deep inhale, open mouth, exhale. Deep inhale, open mouth, exhale. And we're settling in here. Let this feel good. All the muscles in our body is just finding its way to relaxation. We want ourselves to open up our hearts and really find the love for ourselves. So as we settle into our Shavasana, I'd like to offer a little singing bowl action. All you need to do is listen. Listen to your heart and listen to whatever is coming up for you in this moment. I will ring the singing bowl for a minute or so. And then once it goes silent, we find our final resting posture, our Shavasana. If there's anything that you might need right now to make your Shavasana more comfortable, that might mean a blanket, that might mean socks or a cushion under your feet. Maybe you need to change positions. Do it now. You can even pause this and come back. And if you're settled in, let's begin. We'll ring the bell, we'll ring the bowl for about a minute, and then we'll be silent for 5 minutes. This is your Shavasana. This is your time to just sink in and seal in this beautiful practice. Begin to tap back into the breath. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. Wiggle fingers and toes. Circle out wrists and ankles. Take both hands overhead for a full body stretch. Let it feel sweet. If you're in your chair, maybe remove your pillow and sit back in your chair. And if you're on the ground, maybe roll to one side or gently push yourself up and find a comfortable seated posture. Take your time and let yourself get there slowly so you don't get dizzy. Bring your hands to your heart center, tuck your chin and close your eyes, and just thank yourself for showing up today and for being present in the practice. Amazing job, friends. I hope your heart feels a little more open, and I hope that you're feeling a little bit more love for yourself. Bring your thumbs to your third eye, so that little space between your eyebrows. The divine light within me honors the divine light within each and every one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I truly appreciate you taking this time to practice with me. It's so special. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope this practice was exactly what you needed. A little bit of restorative, a little bit of self-love, and maybe even a little bit of yoga history. All right, you take care, and maybe I'll see you on Instagram or some other social media platform. Bye.